Hey, my name is Trevor, and I'm the pastor of Student Ministries and Missions at Hope Community Church, and welcome to the series recap. During our last series, For the Sake of Others, Nathaniel and I divided Jesus' story in Matthew 25 into three sections: hospitality, generosity, and care. We talked about how they relate to following Jesus. Come along as Nathaniel, Kimmy, and I recap the series and things that stood out to us. Here is our conversation.
Well, what's going on, Hope Community Church? This is Pastor Trevor here for our series recap. We are back. I almost messed up that word. We're starting off strong here.
But you nailed it.
And my name is Trevor Moody.
You said
I'm
that already.
joined by...
I'm Nathaniel Lyon.
And I'm Kimmy Lyon.
And hey, it's a series recap. Again. And so I'm going to kick us off with a question.
So wait, what's your name?
My name is
Okay.
Emmanuel
God with us.
Flores.
We need God to be with us.
Oh my gosh.
So, first question, get us started for today. If you had the whole day off, you could do whatever you want, what would you do during that free day? What kind of activities and stuff would you do?
Yeah, I mean, are you going to talk to us about where you got the question from, or were you saving that?
Yes.
Okay, we're
So,
saving it.
this special question comes from the Practicing the Way course in the community section. Has a table conversations box full of questions to help kick off conversations. And we are kicking one of the questions off as our starting icebreaker questions.
Have to get on the right camera.
But it's super cool. So they have like getting started questions, which are pretty like simple. This is the getting started questions. And then they have questions to go even deeper, which are a little bit more deep questions to talk with each other for.
And you get these at
practicingtheway.com.
org, whatever it is.
Is it org? I think it is org.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're nonprofits.
Or I think also Amazon. You can get them off Amazon.
Yeah, cool. And so this question comes from this box.
Yep.
Which Practicing the Way, of course, we use all the time here at Hope. So, yeah, great. And the question again, sorry, is one more time.
You're good. If you had a whole day off and you could do whatever you wanted, what kind of activities would you do on your day off?
So I'm going to ruin the game a little bit.
Oh no, I should have gone beforehand.
Oh, is this one
What?
guy?
It's like, is this like at home? Is it anywhere in the world? Is it budgetarily restricted to what I would feel comfortable spending money on? Or is this just like a dream?
Let's say you don't have to worry about money, but this is like you're at home.
Just a day off.
You're not on vacation.
This is a day off
Yep.
at home, but my family's out of town.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.
They gone.
Peace out.
They went. It's like Home Alone. They went on vacation.
This is your Home Alone day. Yeah.
Made my family disappear. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I think I wish I was the kind of person to, right? Like you have this picture in your head of like, what I wish I would do is, like,
Deep reading by a fire.
yeah, I was study scripture and read Dallas Willard and meditate.
Gross.
Yeah, what I would actually probably do is I would definitely play some video games. I would get some good coffee. I'd probably like go get some coffee at a coffee shop. I would listen to some records. I would watch sports. And I would eat pizza.
That's good.
And that's probably what I would do. Mm-hmm.
Let's go. That sounds like a good day.
It does. It sounds very nice.
Yep.
It's a very Nathaniel day.
Yeah.
Those
Do you have go-to vinyl for like a day off?
Depends on the weather.
Well, it's fall now. Pumpkin spice latte is back at Starbucks. What's your fall go-to?
In like a fall, like cool, breezy fall day, it would just probably be Fleet Foxes, Shore. Mm-hmm. There's
I had the all
record.
It's a good one.
You have it on vinyl?
Mhm.
Really? What didn't know you had any Fleet Foxes records on
I
vinyl?
didn't
That's the
know
only
you had
I
vinyl.
have on
There you
vinyl.
go.
Yeah. Shore's a good one.
It is a good one.
They're all good. Maybe I'd just run through all of Fleet Fox's discography.
Mhm.
instead of
I was about to
time.
say, there you go.
Yeah.
You'd have the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Okay, so I've actually been thinking about this because all of our children are going to be in school for the first time ever this year. and I've actually been considering taking a day off.
Yeah.
Like doing a day off, because I'm like, man, I did it. It's been almost a decade of children at home with me, and now they're not. And so, yeah, I've been thinking about it. But probably like a slow morning. I love a slow morning where I don't have to like rush to get somewhere. I don't have anything on the schedule. It would be a day with nothing on this schedule. And probably like walk downtown to little downtown Buchanan, and I would stop at the bookstore and get a new book and get a coffee, and then go home and either read that book or read one of the books that I have waiting at home for me
Yep.
already. And read a lot, and yeah, probably eat some pizza as well, or some Taco Bell. Yeah, I don't know. It would just be a lot of just like me just like hanging out at home and like, not having to like worry about anybody else.
Sitting in the front room in our house,
Sitting.
the windows open.
Yes.
That's the best thing about our house.
Your front room is so cozy there.
That's the best thing
It's
about our house.
it's definitely my favorite room in our house for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
First I gotta ask, how many books do you have on your backlog?
Oh, dude, I could not even tell you. I don't know. I have like this little like 3-tiered basket cart thing in our front room, and it is just literally full to capacity, but I keep stacking new books on top of it. It's almost as tall as our piano now. And it's just full of books that I haven't read yet. And there's also like books like on my side table in our bedroom that I still need to get to. Yeah.
That's my favorite part about Kimi's story is she's certainly buying a new book. But whether or not that's the book that she'll be reading is up for debate. Yeah. She's definitely buying one though.
Yeah, man.
I love that.
Gotta support small businesses. Gotta support my local bookstore, okay? I don't want them to go away.
Yeah.
So
We also have a fight. The last 2 novels that I've read are books that Kimi already owned that she recommended to me.
And then
She has not read. No, I read them. I read her copies of these books that she recommended. She's like, I think you'll like these. But she has not. She hasn't read
I
them.
haven't read them yet.
I think you'll like this.
I started one though.
Yeah, and we brought them both on vacation. And
Okay,
I
but
read
listen-
both of them on vacation, and she did not read either of them on vacation
Because
because she had 3
I
other
had
books.
3
The real
other
question
books I
is,
was reading on vacation.
Did you like it?
I loved both of them.
There you go.
But that's what I'm saying is I'm desperate for her to read them so we can talk about them. I'm like, I read this because you wanted me to read it, and
Yeah.
I thought we could talk about it, and then Yeah.
Well, I started one of them, okay? So it's happening.
Yep.
Just let me live my life. You know what? I cannot explain the way I am. I just am the way that I am.
Day off and read this book.
yeah. So what would you do, Trevor?
Yes, Trevor.
And I'm sleeping in for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Kicking it off with a good sleep in. I love a nice like tea in the morning when it's like a day off to myself. So like right now, Earl Grey's like my favorite.
Sean
Sure, I'll just say Earl Grey hot.
Is that like from something?
That's the Star Trek. We talked about
Oh.
this literally yesterday. I just told Trevor this story yesterday. Podcaster listener.
Trevor just learned about
Yeah.
Star Trek Next Gen and Jean-Luc Picard yesterday.
And his love for Earl Grey tea. That's literally the context of the conversation of why
Earl
her
Grey is so good.
It is good. It's good tea. It is a good
Yeah.
tea.
A little bit Earl Grey to start the day off. I'll probably go make breakfast, and then I have fallen in love. There is a park like a 5-minute walk from my apartment
Oh, nice.
that hits like the river there. Lake it's at Lake Chaplin there in Berrien Springs.
We'll let the internet audience
Yes.
correct you on
So
that. I
fun.
don't-
Help us out. Yep.
And there's like 2 trees just perfect size to like set up a hammock. And you just get this beautiful view of the whole lake. And so I love it. And so that's like my favorite spot to go hang out and sit in hammock. And so I'll probably sit there for a bit, maybe read something, maybe just sit and nap.
After sleeping in.
Yeah, either one. And then I love to like go and plan a movie, go buy it, and then go buy snacks and stuff that feel like it should go with it.
Oh, that's fun. Like
Yeah.
themed snacks.
Yeah.
Based on what you're watching.
And
That's
so
fun.
like I think one of the last ones I did was Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh,
Yeah, Banshees. Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah. So I got like a bunch of potato themed stuff, and like I got
Because it happened in
Drake
Ireland.
felt right to go with it, and like I kind of created a little like theme for myself for it, and then I went and I watched the movie and I ate
I love
snacks
that.
and stuff.
That's a great idea.
So
Maybe that's how we would get our kids to watch movies with us.
We buy themed snacks.
Yeah.
That would get them
That's-
excited for the first 10 minutes of the movie.
While they eat the snacks
Yeah,
and then they'd
yeah.
leave. I don't know. We're trying to watch movies with our kids, but they don't sit still.
just
But
like
maybe themed snacks.
watch Lord of the Rings and get a rotisserie chicken. I'm
We
like,
don't need.
We don't, we
necessary.
don't need chicken.
And come on, in Lord of the Rings, we're getting potatoes.
Potatoes
And cherry tomatoes, okay?
Yeah.
Say, kids, we're gonna have a second.
Tomatoes, just real juicy.
And real juicy tomatoes.
Yeah.
Just need to make sure we got paper towels on hand.
Mom, Dad, when's second breakfast?
Yeah.
Second breakfast. There we go.
Yep.
With our little hobbits.
And then we'll get little unleavened bread,
Yes.
like the elfish bread that they ate.
Yes.
There you go.
They're like wafer
Wrap
cookies.
it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'd probably do that and then end it with video games.
Great.
What a great day.
Yeah.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah. All of us have some great days. I think maybe the next time, instead of recording this podcast, we should all just go.
We should go do that.
You just gotta do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. And
Well, then I guess that's it. We're going to go.
No. The
Now we're gonna
people-
take the
the
day off.
People want to
the
know.
people want to know,
Mhm.
for the sake of others, 3-week series, Matthew 25. Yeah. So we kind of split it up into 3 sections: hospitality, generosity, and care. One of the first things I'd love to ask, what do you think is do you have like a week that you are probably not week thing that you are most passionate about? Is it hospitality, generosity, or care? And this could be personally in your own like thing, or to talk with other people about.
For me, it's definitely the hospitality
Mm.
piece of it. And Nathaniel shared, like, we talk about this one a lot, just us at home. Like, literally, we were like, what was it, Monday? Like, even talking about hospitality stuff and just like community stuff. Because, yeah, I for real feel like we just need to figure it out and we need to get better at it personally, but also just like the church as a whole. Like,
Yeah.
Big C Church, not just like Hope.
no, yeah, no, not
Yeah.
not our
Whole
just our
church.
local church, but like just the church body everywhere just needs to like figure it out. And I'm not saying like people aren't already doing it well in some places, but I think it's really like not what it could be. And I feel that in my own life. And so yeah, just like Nathaniel said, we're like both really nostalgic. I've been rewatching Full House, and my gosh, I just like
Are you planning on also doing Fuller House afterwards?
I don't know. I have watched it.
Okay.
I have watched all of that. And it was fine. It definitely though
Not as good.
is not the same. It's definitely not.
because the Olsen twins are in it.
Yeah, no, Mary Kay and Ashley. So whatever.
Just get young again, kids.
It's just
Something
like
tangential. We're supposed to be in the like Sears Park.
I know, I'm so sorry.
Something fun about me that we can get into at another time. I, as a child, was obsessed with the Olsen twins. I had their books.
As
I
a
watched
child.
movies. I watched the specials. Anyway, please continue.
True story. Yeah.
I
he
love the Olsen
he like
twins.
brings them up a lot
I
still
love the Olsen
to this day.
Next time's
But-
question: what is your
Yeah.
favorite Olsen twins?
Oh my god! Please.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, please
Talk
continue.
about my
We're
childhood.
talking
My
about
goodness.
Full House.
No, but just like watching Full House and, you know, the 90s, so much of this just like you were just always around either your family or like the neighbor kid was just like coming over because, you know, they were friends with your kids or like the kids' friends from school were coming over and or just like you would have your coworkers over. Like there was an episode where they had like a surprise party for like Danny and like he's had 15 friends and I was like, who has 15 friends? And he was like, I saw 15 of my friends' cars outside. And I was like, dang, that's a lot of friends.
You have 15 friends whose cars you recognize.
Yeah. And yeah.
You
but
know them well enough. You know what they drive.
yeah. And you're right. I was like, dang, that's nice, must be nice. And they were like all from work, like they were all his coworkers and like stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know. Well, we are not great at that. Like Nathaniel and I are not like super great at it. Which is funny because our parents are and were. And so I think hospitality is one that really resonates with me because that was something that was a huge part of my childhood and is something I want to be a big part of my kids' childhood as well. And I mean, to an extent it is. Like we do have people over quite a bit and we do enjoy like hosting and, doing stuff with people. I think we just we have been too protective of our time, I think. We were like just talking about this. I think we've become overprotective of our time. And being like, oh, we're so busy all the time. We just don't have the time to like do these extra things. But I think we're just going to be busy forever, at least while we have kids in our house, at least. And so I think we're just hitting this point personally where we're just like, we're just going to add this into the mix of all the other things we have going on because otherwise it's just never going to happen and we're just going to keep longing for it. So the hospitality was just one that really resonated with me because it's something I'm really longing for and missing. And so that's it. Also, I only was in service for one of the series, I realized. So, and it wasn't even the hospitality one, it was the care one, but so yeah.
What's good?
Yeah, I think the series was really unexpected for me because I think in the lead up to it, I wasn't like, this is going to be my favorite thing. But I'm realizing now all three of these things are things that Kimmy and I talk a lot about and have had some really good conversations about. And so I don't want to do a cop-out, but seriously, Kimmy and I have had really good conversations about all three of these things and what it means for us over the course of this series and just in the last several months. Trying to wrestle with that. I think I agree. I mean, hospitality, but especially as it's connected with care, right? Just the way that's kind of all wrapped up in community. I think has really been the big theme for us lately of just that longing. I don't know. I didn't have the language for it in the first service, but I really landed on it in that second service just as it's coming out. But the thing I keep thinking about that I said in the sermon was just this idea of like the church, we used to have a responsibility to one another. And I think that's gone missing. And I think that's hospitality and generosity and care. But I think that's really what I have been spending so much time about. The thing I'm passionate about is just like, what does it mean when you're part of a church family to say, we have a responsibility to one another, all of us, right? This isn't about the pastor's responsibility to the lay people or the lay people responsibility to the pastor. This is everybody who's part of the church. We have responsibility to one another, to care for each other, to be generous to one another, and to be hospitable to each other. And it's not that we shouldn't do that for everyone, but that's usually what gets the press, right? I think there's been a lot of sermons about reaching the people in your neighborhood, as well there should be. I'm not saying we should neglect that, but I think what has been neglected is caring for each other in the church. And again, we talk a lot about inviting your neighbors who don't know Jesus over, and we should, but we can't even invite our friends over who do know Jesus. So I don't know, like,
And then have spiritual conversations with them.
Right, exactly. Like,
yeah.
can we start with the low-hanging fruit, right? Like, we can't. Anyway, and so I think that hospitality piece, and just like Kimmy said, we were just talking about millennials are the self-care generation. And I think there were some really good reasons for that, of trying to help have healthy boundaries and the burnout generation and the whole thing. And I think there's good reasons for that, but I think we swung too far and we just isolated ourselves and we say no to everything. And we, instead of being generous, we're the, Parks and Recreation, we treat yourself instead of being generous. And we do self-care days instead of having people over, and we have all the Instagram reels about I love canceled plans. And, like, again, that stuff is popular because it's relatable, and I totally get that. But at the same time, we're also lonelier than any generation in history. And so I think Kimmy and I are trying to make this choice of like, yes, it will mean another thing to do, but also we have been complaining about a lack of community forever. And so maybe it's just going to take us being hospitable, and it's going to take us being generous, and it's going to take us caring for people and just like agreeing to go first.
Yeah, do you think part of
Well, you got to answer it first.
Yeah, wait.
Oh, I-
Okay. Oh, you're going to, okay.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, I think my favorite is care. And just the idea of what you're talking about of like we've often just thrown it on the pastor, but this is like us as a collective body of things that we should be
Including the pastor.
including the pastor, yeah, not just the pastor. And so yeah, I think care is the one that I've really like. I've kind of grown up hearing hospitality and stuff like that, but care is like the thing that's like I feel like it definitely has the most overlooked thing of like this is just the pastor thing. And I think everyone in some level understands like, oh, hospitality is something I should do, but care is often a more, I think, overlooked thing. And so I think that's probably why I would say I'm more passionate or care.
And I think pastors should do it.
Yes,
But, but also when we're talking about these three things, that is the one though in Acts, if you remember, when the disciples are leaving the church early after the resurrection of Jesus. And there's this whole time where they have to call extra people to do the care because they're like, hey, look, we're preaching and teaching the gospel. We really need help doing the food distribution and that kind of stuff, right? And I don't think that advocates pastors from having to do any care. But I am saying like that is the one that is explicitly given back to the people of the church in Scripture to say, we have to care for each other. And I think that should be noted.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The question I was kind of pondering, thinking in my head is as we're kind of looking at these three and stuff, do you think we've kind of talked about how like the church has kind of lost some of that art of hospitality and care,
Culture in general.
culture, yeah.
The church is included in that.
Do you think that was like a big thing when COVID hit? Do you think it was a pre-COVID? Do you think COVID skyrocketed something that was already happening?
That's how I talk about most of, not all, of course, but much of the cultural shift that happened with COVID, I believe it accelerated us on a path that we were already heading. I mean, it definitely did fundamentally change things, I think, in unforeseen ways. And I think the like lack of trust in institutions and stuff, I don't know how, I don't remember that being as big of a thing, but maybe we were on that path too. But especially the social piece, I think we were on that path already. COVID just
Accelerated that.
I think we skipped a whole decade of that path because of COVID, where we just, So we were already doing mobile orders and, pick up your food and you don't talk to anybody and all that stuff. But then after COVID, that just like became a thing. And we were already doing like
video calls and
conference calls,
Zoom, and
remote
stuff.
work.
Yep.
And
Starting,
Remote podcasts.
yeah.
What?
Hey, listeners, Kimmy and Trevor and I actually were already on a podcast back in Ohio.
Please don't find out.
Not good. We're not going to even tell you the
Please,
deets. That's what he's
I'm
referencing.
not going to tell you what it is.
That's what during COVID. But I think we were already doing a lot of that stuff. But and even just like again, some of the things it's just like the only people that you spend time with are your family. Like where we don't hang out with friends, and I mean all of that was happening, but yeah, it just accelerated so fast because COVID. That's absolutely a part of it. I think it's impossible to say that it's not. Yeah.
How do you think we start to reclaim that part of the church then? Definitely when it's such a cultural thing to not do it at all. How do we start to almost reclaim that identity of, hey, we are people who are hospitable. We care for each other.
I honestly think it just takes people just deciding to go first, and to like step out of their comfort zone, to stretch themselves a little bit and just try something, right? I really think it has to start with people just being like, I'm just gonna do this. Like, I'm making the decision to do it, and we'll see what happens, because that's where we are. Like, I'm just now at this point where I'm just like, we're just gonna decide to do this now, and stop waiting for it to happen to us, or and stop, seeing what's gonna play out, or and the other things we've tried, well, not tried, but just things that we've done, it's been fine, but it's not, still not really like making us feel like we have community and are doing hospitality well. And so, like, we have just come to this point where it's like, we need to do something different and we want to do something different. And so
Yeah.
we're just going to like do it. And so I think maybe that's what a lot of people just need to maybe process and think about, is like just doing something. There's like the thing, like, you won't change unless something changes, right? Or unless you make a change, or you won't grow unless something changes, like nothing's going to happen if nothing happens, right? and so I think again, it kind of goes back to like our responsibility to each other, right? Like, so we now have a responsibility to make these decisions also for ourselves, but like for our community. If we want our community to be better, then like we have a responsibility to like make a decision, like, I'm gonna try, or I'm gonna do something about it. So that's really what I think about that.
Yes, I think that definitely is a huge part of it. I think the other two things I thought of is letting go of our unrealistic expectations, I think, of what it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
I think that's been a huge block for us. It's just we have an unrealistic expectation of what it's supposed to be. And so then when it doesn't meet that, we're like, wow, this is bad.
That failed.
Yeah, it
that
failed.
we did it wrong or whatever.
We just need to let go of like the unrealistic expectations. I think we get a lot from like media and movies and stuff where you just like have these things of just like everything, I don't know. But well, again, just like the 15 coworkers coming over for a surprise birthday party.
It's probably not going to be that,
Right,
so
yeah,
don't worry about that.
yeah.
But I'm just saying like that. But that's what we have in our brains, and if we don't do that, then we think it's failed. Instead of celebrating the things that we're doing, we get mad about the things that we're not. And I think we need to let go of those unrealistic expectations and celebrate the things that it is. And then I think the last thing is just to be gracious to everyone who's trying to figure this out. And be gracious to the people who, can't show up as much as you want. And I don't know, I think as a pastor too, you just speaking this way as the pastor's family, you're like, we're going to find community. I fear, then anybody who's going to listen to this who's a part of our church is like, I heard the pastor's going to invite everybody in the church over to his house every week. And like, obviously that's just like not a realistic goal for us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that we don't care about people and we don't love people and we don't want to pastor people in our church. But, I think being gracious to saying we're all trying to figure this out and it's new for us and we're trying to figure out just like everybody else, and let go. I think there's just so much expectation attached to it of what it's supposed to be and what it's supposed to look like for the people hosting, for the people who are going, for the people organizing, for the people attending. And I think we just need to like be gracious to each other. But yeah, just do it. And then let go of your unrealistic expectations of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you're going to remember this a lot better than I will, but just yesterday, we were talking about like a Bonhoeffer quote. Do you remember?
Well, I didn't do it exactly right, but this is not a direct quote.
Yeah.
Bonhoeffer has a quote about idealized community, right? And just this idea of how, sometimes our ideal version of community is the barrier to us experiencing real community.
Yeah.
Right? Where we don't step into real community because it's not the idealized version of community that we wanted. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, Dietrich Bonhoeffer's a lot smarter than me, but
It's because he's German. German ingenuity.
Just
Yeah.
different.
But that's exactly what he's talking about. Is too often we allow our ideal picture of community to get in the way of the real community that we could be experiencing.
Yeah, I think sometimes for me, it's like just taking a step in it where it's that expectations of like, hey, I live in an apartment and I don't have a dinner table, but I can meet with people for coffee and get started in that way. Or just like start to just have people over and
Eat your potatoes and
eat the potatoes.
lots of fancies of share it.
Yeah. Which that movie would have made no sense if you didn't tell me it was a symbolism of like Ireland and like Northern Ireland.
I didn't tell you that, but
Oh, I could have sworn you told me that.
I was about to say, sounds like him.
Yeah.
I could have sworn you told me that before. Anyways,
no.
movie's wild.
Jimmy, I thought had a really beautiful picture of what that is, but that's not for this. I'll tell you after the podcast.
We can talk about it later.
Yeah, but Kimmy helped me understand it. So,
Okay.
We can talk later.
Yeah.
but rip to that donkey, right, man? Spoiler alert.
Heartbreaker.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway.
I'm sure our listeners are the audience for that film. So
Yeah. Right.
you guys watch random like prestige dramas from 3 years ago,
Yes.
right? That's what everybody's watching.
Whatever's on the not Golden Globes. What's the
The Oscars.
Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oscar.
Yeah,
movie.
Oscar lists.
I'm sure the audience of our podcast and the viewers of the Oscars are almost just a Venn diagram.
same
of
people,
30.
yeah.
You never know.
All right.
You never know.
Anyways.
Anyway, sorry.
So the next question. You started off the second week with generosity, kind of having people sit and reflect on who the most generous person was. And then you kind of gave two people. Were those the people that you would say was the most generous? Is there other people that come to your mind? Maybe same for you. Who are those people that kind of come to your head?
Honestly, for me, that's hard because there's actually been a lot of people that have been very generous to me and my family. Like I think of this couple, my dad was his first lead pastor job. We were like in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And the church was small. It was like maybe 40, 50 people. It was a small church. And also because of that, it was pretty tight knit. But there's several families in that church that just kind of like adopted us. And, their kids babysat us. Like I was really young. I was like 5 through 10 there. And then my sisters were younger. So we were really young there. And so multiple families that just treated us like family and would take us, like the three of us girls, on outings and stuff so my parents could have a date or like do whatever. But they would like spoil us rotten, like take us for ice cream and stuff and like take us to movies and just like always again, they just like adopted us. They like treated us like we were their kids too and loved on my parents. And and just we've had a lot of experiences like that. And then I don't know, that Josh and Danica Allen at Salem just like repeatedly. And then
Those are the people from the washer store.
that gave us the washer and dryer.
Into that,
Yeah.
I bet that's Josh and
Yeah.
They were very generous to us many times.
I mean, gosh, Bob Moss helped and David Boots helped us get a new dishwasher.
Yeah.
David Boots was the worship pastor at Salem when we first got there in Ohio, and they helped us get a new dishwasher because ours was leaking. And I don't know, just it's hard to pick. Like there have been countless people in my life that have just been so generous to me and my family. It's hard to pick.
Yeah, that same. We've been so blessed to experience the generosity of people, and so I again, it's really hard to pick, and even just beyond monetary generosity. I mean, just people who have been so gracious in their time, or people here even at this church who will help us come fix stuff at our house, right? Which is like not a huge cost, but it is like
So
a
helpful
lot-
and kind.
Yeah, it is, and it's saving us a lot of money.
Yeah.
But just people who are really generous in that way, because I don't know how to fix anything, and that kind of stuff is just we've been blown away by that kind of thing. So I don't know. It's hard for me to like pick one person.
Yeah.
We've seen generosity on display in so many different ways. So
yeah. I'd probably say I'm really thankful for my dad. Was always like a generous person growing up, and so he kind of always like helped model that. And like anytime he had like a time open and somebody needed something, like he was there to like go and help people. And so my dad really helped, I think, model that for me, which I was thankful for. whether that was financially helping with something or physically with his time helping, or he was always very very generous, and still is a very generous person to this day. And so he's a person that comes to my mind. Josh and Danica, obviously, and yeah, another person like even up here, like Elizabeth and Becky.
Yes. Oh my
Anytime
gosh.
car problems, they're like on it, and like I've had before had a giant bolt in my tire, and I was like, do you think this is fine for like if I need to just drive down the street or whatever? And they like took their time out of their day to drive all the way over
Oh man.
while I was like having to do a student ministry event, and while they were like, yeah, hey, just go like do your event, we got this, and like change my tire and everything for me, and like
Yep.
just like super generous. And so
Big time. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I love that you kind of talked the whole Dave Ramsey thing of like money just like makes you more of what you already are. Do you think when we start being more generous, it really starts to change us to who we are aiming to be? Or do you think that's a part of like it is a test of just showing what's already there, and generosity helps kind of showcase what's there?
I think it's both and, right? Like I do think it is an expression of who you are, but also, yeah, like I think your habits make you who you are, right? So if you can learn generosity as a habit, that changes you. But then also it just is, that's the goal of any habit, is that it turns you into that thing, right?
Yeah.
So like what starts as an intentional discipline eventually just becomes the overflow of who you are naturally.
Yeah.
So I do think those things go hand in hand, but
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I believe Dave Ramsey's right. And again, Dave Ramsey bothers me sometimes. I mean, I'm not like a huge like Dave Ramsey stan.
Yeah.
I do think he's right about some things, and so I want to give credit where credit's due. But I think he's right about that. Like, I do think money makes you more of who you already are, and
Yeah.
I think this is the like lie that we tell ourselves is I'm not generous now, but if I had a lot of money, I would be. And I think that that's just not true. In fact, many of the most generous people I know are the people that don't have much to give, but they give really freely of what they have.
Yeah.
And some of the stingiest people I know are the wealthiest. And I don't know. I mean, that's just like what it is, right?
Yeah.
I don't think having more money will make you more generous. That is a straight up lie.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like not true. So
Yeah.
we can learn to become generous in a way, right? What does it mean for me to be generous in my current circumstances?
Yeah.
And hopefully that will be, expanded as I have the ability to expand it. But
Yeah.
I have an ability to be generous now in some capacity.
It reminds me even like the whole thing of like, if only I had more time, I would do more
That's it.
Right.
Bible reading or whatever it is. But if we're being honest, if we probably had more time, we probably would spend it doing other random stuff and filling up with more things that won't matter at times.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
But that's to make it a scriptural thing, right? Like this is like, show that you're faithful with what you've been given, and more will be added to you, right? It's that whole kind of idea of like, hey, learn to be faithful with what you've got, and then when you have more, you'll be faithful with that now. Yeah, that's like a parable of the talents thing, right? So
yeah. I also realized so far for generosity and care and stuff, I haven't asked you what was some of your planning taken through.
Well, you talked about hospitality.
Yeah, I did hospitality interview.
You want to go first, or
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I could go first.
All right.
Yeah. Hospitality. Yeah, one of the things that was on my heart is because I knew we kind of just recently talked about hospitality coming off the Bell series, so I wanted to kind of touch in hospitality. But one of the things that was on my heart is just the idea of like, part of it is like once we start to see people differently, it's a little bit easier to do. And recognizing that I'm not doing this just because I think I should, but because this is a person who matters to God. And I think that's been on my heart just because like it is it's something I've learned, like, when in discipleship, um if I am growing, the way I should see people should start to change and be different. And how I go about seeing them is not, oh, I guess I'll go help you and talk to you and do this thing for you. But it's like, no, like, you matter to God, you matter to the kingdom. And so I'm going to take this time to care for you, not just because I should, but over time it should change because I want to. I want to do this for you. And so that was a part of planning this, is seeing that, like, hospitality and care. I used one of the verses in the Old Testament that was actually from, like, the Jubilee year verse, but still, like, the idea of, like, putting your crops, like, not harvesting all the crops so that you could, like, help care for those who are, like, just get what you need and leave the rest for people who actually need food and stuff too, that they can come and eat. So I think for me, diving into it was really, I wanted to think through that point of hospitality is not just something that is good, but first I need to, like, why am I doing this for? And it's because, like, I want to see people differently. I want to I want to see this person like God sees this person when I invite them, and I'm hospitable, and I'm not just doing it just to do it. So yeah, I think that was one of the things that was really on my heart when kind of preparing for the hospitality series. And yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. So for generosity specifically, a lot of that was from an old sermon series from a friend that when I had been preaching on generosity in the past, they just sent me all their notes from series they had done about it. And so I learned a lot from them about some of the work that they had done. And so I was able to learn from that. And so that was great. But yeah, I really wanted to focus, I was really conscious, like you said, we just talked about hospitality. I was really conscious of, I had just made the big push about our campaign and all that stuff. And I'm like, I don't want this to be like Nathaniel's always up here talking about money all the time. Give more money. But at the same time, I do think and continue to think that, like, again, the way that we think about money, I believe, is the thing that's most been shaped by the world and not scripture, right? Like, I do think as American Christians, one of the things that we struggle the most with is what the scripture teaches about money, because it's very uncomfortable for us in an affluent society. Yeah. So I don't want to, like, shy away from it, but I also don't want to just be like, you should give more money, because that's, like, not helpful. And you should, it's just, like, not a, like, powerful preaching tool, I don't think. And so I really, again, wanted to remind people that it is money, but it also is so many other things. And it's just about the posture, right? I like the way that Jesus talks about it in Matthew 25, because it's just about being open-handed, right? He's not talking about money, but he is talking about abundance. And he's talking about extra. And he's talking about giving freely what we have. Living open-handedly, I think, is really the posture that I wanted to bring. And that's what I think the Lord was really bringing to me, is what can I let go of? What can I bring? And again, the theme that I think is important in everything, and that's what I love about what Paul said in the passage I used from Paul, just about, like, he was just talking about, like, this is how we know that we're a part of the kingdom, right? It's just this idea of, like, it changes us, right? Just this idea of generosity, not as a you ought, just like you said with hospitality, not as a you ought, I should, but this is truly the pathway to the best life possible, right? When we learn to be generous, it actually is better. It's not just like you better do this. Yeah. It just is better. Come on, that's the preacher thing, right? It's not you better, it is better. Just saying. But that's what I was really trying to lean into. But a lot of that content I got from some notes that I got from a friend, so it's really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And how about care?
Care, I use a lot of the Communicator's Commentary. Is that a commentaries that I have that also you have?
Yes.
Yeah. But
Pastors.
Kimmy, sorry, it's
I
on your blog.
don't use that. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not the commentary I use. I don't know.
anyway, I used that commentary set a lot in that passage to kind of learn about it. Bible Project, obviously, they had a lot of that conversation in their, not a lot actually, it was very brief. But I saw this in all of the sources I used about the inclusive and exclusive. I didn't realize that was like such a broad debate about how we interpret the passage in the least of these. But Bible Project talks about it in their podcast series on parables.
Yeah.
So if you're curious, you can go listen to their podcast series on parables. They talk about that some, and how do we read parables in general. But you guys know I love the Bible Project. But that commentary is really what I lean into a lot there to kind of build it around. But what really captivated me again was just this responsibility to each other. I think so often in pursuit of evangelism, we abdicate our responsibility to each other. And again, I don't know, I feel like because I've preached about this so much, it makes it sound like I don't care about people who are far from God, which I do. And I actually think I have a lot of growth to do in that. But I don't think that people in the American church I don't think they've missed out on sermons that are trying to tell people about Jesus.
Yeah.
I think that's existed, right? Go love people who are far from God. That's a thing that we hear all the time. What we don't talk enough about is what's our responsibility to each other and what does it mean to be a part of the church? That's why, again, in second service, I brought up the whole baptism thing, right? This is a conversation I've had with both of you quite a bit about just I have a lot of heartache about when we get baptized and, people show up and get baptized and they disappear and they never come to the church again. That's not baptism, right? Baptism is I'm choosing to be a part of this thing. And I'm standing in front of these people because these people are now my family and they're going to hold me accountable. And for the people sitting in the audience to say, I am taking responsibility for this person and the life that they're living. They're now saying, I want to be in. I'm a part of this thing now. And that should matter. That should matter. We should feel the weight of that. Same thing with baby dedications, right? This is a family standing in front of the church and they're saying, I'm telling you, I want to raise my kid to know Jesus and I'm committing to be a part of this family and teaching my kid to do the same. Yeah. And the people who are watching are saying, this child is ours now and we will raise this child to know the Lord, And I don't think I know that's impossible. In a church our size, you cannot do that for everyone. I'm fully aware of that. But you can do it for someone. And I don't think we think about that deeply enough. And that was really the thrust for me, especially in the theme. We did a 24-hour prayer thing, and the theme that we've been talking about as a staff for this whole year is really just about it takes all of us. And if this is your church, what part of it's yours? And again, I don't want to make it about shame, but I think it's better, right? This isn't you're ruining my life by not doing this. That's not what it's about. It's about, I think your life would be better when you take this responsibility. That's what I'm saying. I think you will experience fruit from picking up that responsibility, that purpose. So,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, that's awesome. One of my things when it comes to care that, actually, first let me go back. One of the things I noticed about Matthew 25, something that we both kind of touched on, talked about, is that both sides were surprised when Jesus tells them that when you were doing this for the least of these, you were doing it for me. That for me, one of the things that I kind of think about is, yes, it is that it comes back to just, who are you becoming? Are you becoming a person where they were surprised? So they're this was just something they were doing.
That's right.
The gospel went deep in them and it transformed them into a person who that was just the thing they were doing. And so when Jesus said, hey, you were doing this for me, they were surprised. They were it almost seems more of I was just doing what I thought was right, doing what I thought to be true. And on the flip side, but I think on the flip side of it too is, there's the other people who are when did we ever see you like that? It was something for them where the the way of Jesus never transformed their life in a way of like, this is something that's just naturally I do. And I think so much of like, when we start to implement and practice care, it starts to like really help transform us. And I think like the more you do care, the more that like, I feel like your heart just starts to almost break down and want to do more of it. Like you start to, it's easier to start to emphasize people when you've been with people in hard moments, when they are sick or when they're in a hospital, recovering, or like, I feel like when you put yourself in those situations more, it becomes easier. I think it helps you to see people differently the more you start to do it. Yeah, that was the thing that like kind of stood out to me about Matthew 25, reading through it, and definitely as we just spent 3 weeks kind of looking at it and processing through it, that I loved. I also say that as like we're almost out of time too, so if there's anything you want to add to it.
It's great.
No, that's great. Yeah.
So hey, what's next?
Well, this weekend is Labor Day,
Mhm.
so we're gonna do a series on faith like a child, because it's also Family Sunday, so all that's gonna like go really perfectly together, right?
Look at that.
And so that'll be great. And then we're starting a series after that that is really related to some of our conversations. So I'm just like swimming in it. But it's all just about like, what is the church, right? Just like taking a look for the next several weeks about like, what does it mean to be part of the church?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of the church? What is the church? As we look at scripture, as we look at history. I'm still piecing it all together, but I think it's going to be really cool. And I'm excited about it.
Let's go. Let's
Mhm.
go. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Do you already have a name for it, or not yet?
No, I'm not ready to announce that yet.
All good.
We're
Okay.
workshopping a couple things.
Workshop it up.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. And so yeah, that's gonna be coming up. That's super exciting. I know, yeah, we've been kind of talking about it as a staff, those kind of ideas a little bit. Definitely, we just recently had a staff meeting, and so yeah, I think it's gonna be an awesome message, and yeah, definitely coming out of prayer. 24-hour prayer, I think would be all really good.
Yeah.
Um
But Family Sunday first.
Family Sunday's
Yeah.
coming up.
Pew, 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 pew.
It's gonna be awesome. And if I remember, I think we're gonna see some kids on the stage for second service.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is
Yeah.
gonna be super exciting. So make sure you're in there. Don't miss out on that. It's gonna be awesome. And y'all, that's it for the series recap. Hope we love you, and like always, we'll see you guys next time.
See you. Shout out to John Trick. We love you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Series Recap. The Series Recap exists to encourage people at Hope Community Church to continue to engage with their faith and their formation even after Sunday is over. Our hope is that we can keep formational ideas and concepts in front of us during the week to help redirect our attention back to Jesus as we learn to practice the way of Jesus. We'll see you guys next time. God bless.